You know, with the video in the news yesterday that I reported on the whole situation right now with Archie and Ken Penders, I know a lot of people are not too happy about what could be the possible outcome, but I'm still positive. I still feel that something good's going to come out of this. I mean, if not, there's not really much we can do. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. The comic's not going to get liquidized or rebooted or anything like that. They're just going to work around with what they have to work around with. And let's be honest, they can actually work with the characters still because of the one reason that they don't always have to look exactly as Ken Penders draws them. And even so, they can legally use the characters by changing their names. I'm not lying. They can alter the names to the point that it'll still be the characters you know, but the names will be different. You want a good example, whether you like it or not, take a look at the Silver Arc in Sonic Universe with the Dark Freedom Fighters. That was Lala Sue. We know that. But what name did she change to in that universe? Jana Kaw. Alright, Jana Kaw. Or Jana Kaw. That was her name. Who's to say you can't do that with Julie Sue? Says, okay, it's Julie Kaw or just Julie. Who's to say you can't do that? Or just change it to Sue. Who's to say you can't do that? It's like, it's like if somebody wanted to fight over, Sally's name and say her name's, I own the Sally Acorn name. Or I own the Princess Sally name. It's fine. Take the princess out. Steal Sally. Just call her Sally. That's it. Or Sal. What are you going to do? You can't sue over what is a common name. So I'm pretty sure that no matter what's going to happen, something positive is going to come out, and you're going to still see the characters in some shape or form. I feel that's going to happen. But just in case, let's take a look at the positives and the negatives. The positive and negative outcomes of this whole Archie versus Pender situation. Let's start with the negatives. The negative, of course, the biggest one being, is that they won't be able to use the characters anymore. They will not be able to reprint many of their archives that they want to print and, help the newer readers get updated as to who the characters are and what's going on. And mostly they're going to have to alter every story they're currently working on to fit within the new situation. Those are some of the biggest negatives, and probably one of the bigger negatives is it's going to basically cause maybe some sales to go down, but not by much. Maybe it's going to cause, like, say, the archive, graphic novel sales and all that to go down because fans are going to expect more of, let's say, the Knuckles archives and stuff like that. It's basically going to be around. That's, again, some of the biggest negatives. And of course, the biggest negative is it's gonna upset, like it's doing now. It's gonna upset a lot of fans. So those are just some of the negatives. The positives out of this is that Archie will be able to use the characters again. And on the other end, the positive is Ken Penders will get some kind of compensation. Can't talk here. Excuse me. We'll get some kind of compensation, if you will, for the characters and the stories being used. That is the positives. The positive is the characters will still be able to be used, and on Ken's end, he'll get some money back for using the characters. And I'm just watching Syracuse beat number 1 Indiana in the East Regional semifinals. So if you're an Indiana fan, I'm sorry. But anyway, getting back on topic. here, if you will. The point is, I see those kind of positives happening. The compromise that I see, and now those are, again, like I said, those are the negatives and the positives. But I also want to look at the possible compromise, and I've mentioned this before. The compromise will be that, of course, like I said, the positive, being a positive for Ken, is he'll be compensated for all the characters and stories being referenced and the characters being used and so on and so forth. But, on the other hand, the compromise may also consist of the fact that those very stories, if you will, and story arcs or whatever he's worked on, will become part of the true comic book, will become true parts of the comic book's continuity. In other words, whether we like it or not, you could see things like Mobius years later being a true part of the continuity. And I know some people might say, well, that's stupid. That's basically giving away the plot, giving away the fact that the Freedom Fighters beat Robotnik. Yes, that is true, but here's the point. As we saw with Ian's interpretation and adaptation of years later, just because they won doesn't mean, all is well. Doesn't mean all is at peace. If you know what I mean. It basically means other things can happen. So, again, whether anybody would like it or not, I believe that would be one of the compromises. And other stories that Ken has done as well, like Endgame would still be part of the story arc, because he did write that. And basically other things as well. And again, like I said, I know not a lot of people would like the idea of, let's say, Mobius years later, showing up and being a true part of the continuity, basically saying this is what's going to happen. But again, when you take a look at Ian's interpretation of it, it doesn't mean everything's going to be nice and rosy. But besides that, another compromise I see, and as crazy as this may sound, I think one of the biggest reasons why this is happening, and I think this will be part of the compromise, is Ken Penders is looking for a publisher for his stories, for his book. He's looking for a publisher. And who better to get than the people he worked for in Archie Comics? Think about it. If he can get Archie Comics in a compromise to say, okay, I'll let you use my characters, so, and this and that and what, and whatever, and yes, the story arcs and stories that I've done have to be true parts of the continuity. I wouldn't be surprised if he also says, yeah, compromising with them and settling with them or whatever you want to call it. He'll probably say, but on the condition, but I want in return not just compensation, but I would like you guys to help me publish and release the Lawless Sue Chronicles. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And that, in a sense, whether you like it or not, is a compromise that works out for everybody. But again, we just have to wait and see. But like I said at the beginning, if the negative happens, you could still work around that, because all you have to do is change the names of the characters, maybe tweak the designs here and there, but it would still be the same characters. It's just they'd be tweaked a little bit, as well as the designs. Okay, the designs would be tweaked a little bit, but their names would be changed around. Like Lawless Sue would be, of course, Jana Kaw. Julie Sue could be Julie Kaw or Julie, or just Sue. You get the point. So honestly, that's what I feel could happen in a positive and negative way. These are basically the positive and negative outcomes of this case, and the possible compromise as well. So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. But this is just my opinion on what I feel could be the positives and negatives about this. And that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.